Well, our vegetables are basically growing like weeds this spring. Our weeds are growing like weeds too, but we have got a vegetable here that has grown considerably since the last time that you saw it. It's already working its way up the trellis here, and we've got enough leaves here now to go ahead and harvest some of them. And basically you can just come out and cut off some of these leaves and collect them. The best time to do this would be early in the morning so that they don't wilt on you, because they're pretty turgid here, but if you left them out in the sun very long, they'd wilt. You can also harvest just the tips of the shoots and put those in too, but we're going to just collect a bunch of these, and Barbara is going to show us what we can do with our Malabar spinach once we've harvested it.
Having something new out of the garden is always a delight, and today we have Malabar spinach, which was something new to me. I had not known about it or used it until we got it from the garden this summer. Now, as you can see here, there are a few differences between Malabar spinach and traditional spinach. Here's the traditional spinach on this side, the one that most of us are familiar with, and over here's the Malabar. You notice that the leaves are a little bit longer and a little bit larger in most cases, but also one of the things that you may not be able to see real well is that this one is a more waxy texture. It's a little bit more succulent than the traditional kind. It's got a little bit stronger flavor, and one of the things that's interesting about this one is that it does some of the same kinds of things that okra does when you cook it, in that it gets a little bit more slimy or glutinous than what we're familiar with, or a little bit more slick than what we're familiar with traditional spinach. So in order to gradually work ourselves into enjoying this, what we're going to do is, instead of cooking with it first, I'm going to encourage you to use it in spinach salads. Now, whenever you would have a recipe that normally would call for spinach, you can substitute this stuff. And what I've done is simply trim off the ends of the stems and washed it well, and then simply torn it into bite-sized pieces, because I'm of this philosophy that anything that goes in a salad should be something that would be able to fit in my mouth without having to use a knife and a fork. So tearing it up to some degree would be a value here. Now, as we progress through the summer, one of the topics we're going to discuss is functional foods, and that applies to Malabar spinach as well as other spinaches because they're high in lutein. Now, lutein is a carotenoid that helps reduce the risk of macular degeneration, which is a decrease in the ability of people to see, particularly those people that are over 75. And we see that the incidence of it increases in that age group. And those that have had higher amounts of lutein in their diets early on in life are less likely to have macular degeneration later. A functional food is one that decreases your risk of some kind of chronic disease or condition, such as heart disease or some kind of cancer. And many of the things that are involved in this are antioxidants, which lutein is one. It's one of the carotenoids, which are antioxidants as well. Now, as far as we know at this point in time, since we know very little about this as far as research is concerned, that we need to consume foods that have these in them, not go for vitamin supplements, which makes these kind of summer dishes especially nice. Other things that would be high in lutein would be things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, that type of thing. Now let's go over and see what else we're going to do with this salad. I'm going to make a dressing to go with it. Now, Malabar spinach comes from places like China and Polynesia and the Philippines. So I'm going to use a salad or a salad dressing that has an Asian flavor to it. So we have a little bit of garlic. This is 1 clove of garlic that I've chopped up a bit. And we're also going to add several other ingredients. This would be about a tablespoon of ginger that's been minced, about 1/4 of a cup of scallions or green onions, and then we have some cilantro, again about 1/4 of a cup, 2 tablespoons. You can play with salad dressings always. And then also to this we're going to add 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, which you could easily get out of 1 healthy size lemon, or excuse me, that was lime juice, 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, about 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1/8 or less of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Now I'm going to blend these together just a little bit before we add the other ingredients so that we have them blended well and begin to help the flavors marry together. Now, while the speed is on slow, I'm going to add the oil just a little bit at a time so that it gets blended in. Once those are well stirred together, you're ready to go with the salad. Now that was a teaspoon of sesame oil and 1/4 cup of peanut oil. And roasted peanut oil is the one that I used, and it has a particularly nice flavor in here. Now one of the things I might suggest, if this is a new dish to you and you're not sure you're going to like it, is that you blend the Malabar spinach greens in with other greens, and that way if the flavor is more pronounced than you like, you've got it masked a little bit with some other things. I'm going to drizzle this in, probably only put in part of it, and then like with mini salads you'd serve the rest on the side. This is going to be tossed together gently, and then you can easily put some garnish on this. You might want to add some color with something red or orange, maybe some mandarin orange slices. Strawberries would be nice if you were still in strawberry season, and that would add some vitamin C, which has another antioxidant component, and in addition a lot of nice flavor and color. Tomatoes, of course, would be another choice. Serve this up and garnish it with a few peanuts to finish off that flavor of the Orient and of Asia, and you have something that is a functional food that will help you stay healthy, as well as add a lot of fun and interest to meals this summer. Until next time, this is Barbara Brown.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.